Hey there guys, I am John Nash from Ukulele Inspired. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Insight. Last time I talked a little bit about the three important elements of music: rhythm, harmony, and melody. Today I want to get a little more in depth into the first one, rhythm. See if we can set up some foundations, see if we can give you guys some exercises to practice. Last time we discussed how to create rhythm on this instrument by playing a set of strum patterns or sounds against a constant beat or pulse that's happening in the music. If I start to play a strum, remember we're trying to hear that natural pulse that's already happening in that music, and then we're going to try and see how we create the strum pattern around it. If I slow it down, I want you to just kind of watch what my hand's doing. I'm playing down, down, up, up, down, up, down. But really what my hand is doing, if you see, is my hand is kind of going in this up and down motion. When I play those first two downs, what my hand has to do is come up before it plays the next down. So really what I'm playing is eighth notes. I'm just choosing not to play the strings on certain parts of it. Whoa, let's go back a minute. So what are eighth notes? Let's go back to the concept that I was talking about. When music is playing, there's a natural beat or a pulse. If I'm playing that strum pattern, bum, bum, ba, da, 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 that natural pulse or beat happens in cycles of four. What's called 4/4 time. So if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then it repeats 2, 3, 4. Each one of those sets of four is a measure, and usually it coincides with the strum pattern that we're playing. We start to repeat the pattern over on the downbeat or the first beat of the next measure. So we can take each one of those beats and we can subdivide it into an infinite number of parts. When we're first learning music, usually we're talking about quarter notes because we have 4 of those beats per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. So each one of those notes that's happening, we can subdivide into 2 parts. If we do that, then we can count it like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Each time I say and, that's the upbeat in between each one of those downbeats, and this creates 8 segments that we're playing in that measure instead of 4, which is why we call them eighth notes. You can subdivide it again into 4 different parts, and you can count it like this: 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So now each one of those quarter notes I'm subdividing into 4 different parts, which gives me 16 beats per measure, and we call those notes, of course, 16th notes. For me, this is really important, and usually the first thing that I work on with new students is learning how these different durations sound and also how these different durations feel to play. So a really basic exercise that you can do, I use this to just warm up, is play an alternating pattern of down and up strums and alternate between quarter notes, eighth notes, and then 16th notes. So if we have a tempo kind of going, and you can play with a metronome, it'll help. 4, then we can go 1, 2, 3, 4 to eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 16th notes. 1. Back to quarter notes. 2, 3, 4, eighth notes. 1 and 2, 3 and 16th notes. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. So give it a shot. Try that exercise out, I don't know, for the next 2 weeks. Every time you pick up your ukulele for 30 seconds, you'll be really surprised at how natural playing those durations starts to become. Yeah, next time I want to get a little bit more into the second element we talked about, which is harmony. Give you a little bit of left-hand chord technique stuff, so be sure to tune in for that. Check out ukuleleinspired.com and be sure to like our Facebook page to keep up to date. I will see you next time. Thanks.